Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Well, I hope the questions aren't too invasive because...
Oh, they'll be invasive. You know
good.
How I roll.
Well, that's how I'm an open book, folks.
Yes,
Definitely an open book.
An open book, yes, no doubt.
Open, yeah. Not a very thick book, but it is definitely open.
And it's definitely a paperback.
That's true. It's better to fit my parka.
Yeah.
If anyone can get that movie reference, I will send you nothing.
Better to fit in my parka. Well, there are so few parka movies. But
you'll never get it. You'll never get it. It's a 90s movie.
Oh, it's like the Goonies or some crap like that.
It's worse.
Oh, okay. Worse than the Goonies.
It's worse than the Goonies.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to let someone try and get that.
Yeah.
And we should start selling parkas in the merch store.
We should. I'll get on that. Get on that right away.
Especially, I would have bought a bunch this year.
I know you would.
It's been really chilly.
Well, it's been rainy, very wet.
No, it's been beautiful here.
No, I'm interested. Speaking of, so I need to talk to you about doing another in-person podcast. That's coming up. I think we actually set the date already.
Oh,
it was
cool.
set. It was set today, but we can talk about that off. We don't have to do that right now because it's going to take me too long to find it on my calendar.
Oh, I thought if you had it, I have it right here, but I'm not going to tell you.
I don't. All right. First of all, I do have to do a shout out before you ask your question.
Yeah, for sure.
To Mr. Eric Nathan, who I was talking to earlier today.
One of my favorite buds of all time.
He's a very good dude. We
Such a good guy.
We looked almost identical today. I did change clothes, but we were wearing the same thing. And he's bald and has a beard, and I'm bald and have a beard. But it was pretty funny. Anyway.
Yeah, I had to squint. Let's see. Is that Eric? No, it's Nick.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Sorry.
So we got off the phone about a little while before I got onto this, and he's an avid listener to the PoddiMouths podcast.
He's a good
Thank you,
man.
Eric, for listening.
Thanks, Eric.
But I said, because every Friday he sends a picture of what he's having. He is a bourbon and whiskey aficionado, and he always has.
I used to follow him on Insta when I was on there.
I see him on Instagram there as well. And, but anyway, he said, well, you better show my drink if I send it to you. So I'm showing your drink, Eric. Here we go.
Oh, wow. That's a good one too.
That is a good looking.
What
it looks like? It looks like I'm thinking it's an old fashioned because of the orange peel.
It's got a whole lot of grenadine in there.
There's no grenadine. It's just the color.
Oh.
Anyway.
What does grenadine do? Oh yeah. It colors it red.
Yeah,
you're right. Shirley Temple. That's a Shirley Temple.
And then another one of my coworkers.
Sounds like Eric.
she sent the beer she's drinking. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Thought
Florida
you'd like that because it's
sunshine.
Florida.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway,
that's great. I found. Speaking of beer, I found. Oh my gosh, when we were kids, and I mean,
here's Kim's.
Just say of age raspberry lemonade. That's Kim.
Yep. Go ahead.
And she would giggle if she took, I could hear Kim giggling after she takes a sip of that.
Just like she did on the whole podcast. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, she was awesome. That was fun. That was great fun with her and Lisa. When I was a kid, we used to have Miller High Life.
Miller Low
7-ounce shorties.
Oh, nice. Kind of like those little Coca-Colas you can get now, or the soda in general.
Something like that, except these were bottles, and they were in an 8-pack.
Interesting.
That's how they sold them. So it just brought back some great memories when I found some Modelo, which they called Modelito, which means tiny when you do the ito in Spanish. You probably knew that.
I did not.
And they're 7-ounce Modelos.
Okay.
In a case, I think they're 24, if I'm not mistaken. And they're just so cute. They don't look anything like the old 7-ounce Miller High Life, but they're awesome. They look like the regular bottles, except reduced in size and just really fun.
That's fun. So I found another one. Speaking of,
there we go, Modelo. Sorry,
there's
Modelito.
Another brand. It's made here in Nashville.
Okay,
and I tried it a couple weeks ago. Can you read that?
That is better
than booze.
Better Oh, better than booze, and it's something mule at the bottom. And it's alcohol free.
It's alcohol free, but it's infused with CBD and THC, the Delta 9.
Wow! Come on.
You're supposed to get a quote unquote buzz from that. But who's that? Oh, that's Tom Proctor now sending us. Looks like his.
Oh,
date.
That's awesome!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a major drink. Yeah. Anyway, it's supposed to give you a buzz without the hangover. Well, I didn't really get a buzz from it, but man,
you
was
only
I
had
relaxed. No, I had all 4.
Now we're talking. That's
but
my
I
boy.
Was very relaxed.
Were you? Okay. But not buzz.
Well, I mean, I guess, but
yes,
I didn't feel like the alcohol buzz. And it was supposed to be similar in a way.
Well, because there's no alcohol in there.
There's no alcohol.
But
it was
very
fun.
interesting.
I enjoyed it. I would do those again. I'll try a different flavor next time. But yeah, it was good. It was very good.
That's pretty funny.
I like being relaxed. I don't know about you.
No, I like being tense.
I knew that of you.
Yeah, I like that. I'd like to like that the whole day long. That's terrific. Yes, so try the Modelitos.
Modelitos.
They're pretty awesome. And it's, it's kind of the right size. It's 7 ounces. And it's, I am not a big beer drinker. So having, a 12-ounce can of beer, which isn't much, but I'm thinking these 7-ounces will be fine. I tried one last night. Delicious. And I was fine with just one. So
nice.
Ding.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was fabulous. Okay. My question.
Your questions.
This is one I had written. It's Topical Questions 2023. I found the file in our PoddiMouths folder.
Nice.
And it said drive-in movies. Have you ever been to a drive-in movie?
I have not watched a movie at a drive-in theater, but I have been to several drive-in theaters for one reason or another. Strangely enough, there are a lot of abandoned drive-in movie theaters around Nashville.
I thought you were saying something else, but
no, nothing dirty, nothing easy, nothing. I was going to say easy because it's just being general. I've been to several of them just exploring, but I've never actually watched a movie at one.
So,
unless you count Duet,
closed though, they're not operating.
Yeah. Right, correct. Yeah.
Unless you count what?
Unless you count the drive-in theater at Disney, where it's not really a drive-in theater, but you sit in a fake car and eat dinner and watch a movie.
Yeah, that's right. No, I haven't seen that, but that's interesting. I grew up in 11 miles from Monroe, Wisconsin, and they had the Skyview, spelled V-U.
Nice.
Skyview Theater, and it was the old school drive-in movie theater.
Nice.
And I remember as kids, we'd pull in, and it was often a date night place, if you get my drift. And again, I've been to a lot of them, but haven't seen any movies. So
I was waiting for that. I knew that was coming. How did I know that was coming?
Much the same as you said, but that one, and oddly enough, the house we bought in Lake Mills, Wisconsin, was 4 miles or so from another drive-in, and I can't think of the name right now because we never went there. But that was a fun place, I guess, for a lot of families. I don't think it was quite as many teenagers as when I was growing up. But yeah, interesting. You don't see many that are operational anymore, and those were the old school ones, both of them, where you would hang the thing on the window, the speaker, to hear the movie, and I think. Probably you could tune in on your radio after a while. But anyway, just weird thing about having gone through them. So the ones you looked at, you were just exploring, and they were shut down though?
Yeah, you just drive down. I'm a big fan. I don't know if we've discussed this before. We probably have. It's been a while. Okay. I am a big fan of taking back roads when I'm driving. For example, I went to a town outside of Atlanta this past week. And it was a difference between a 4-hour and 45-minute drive versus a 5-hour and 20-minute drive if I take the back roads. And I was in my Jeep, so I took the back roads. because it's just so much fun. I actually got to do the North Alabama hills or the mountains.
Nice.
A beautiful drive. But I didn't explore this one, but I ran across a couple on the way.
When there is topography like that, I totally agree with you. When it's interesting scenery or, twists and turns and things like that. My nephew and his wife live on the other side of Florida on the Gold Coast. And it's 3 hours any way you slice it to drive over there. And it is the most boring drive on the planet.
Yeah.
Is
it all back roads or is it freeway?
Well, it's back roads and it's straight. Well, back roads. It's a state highway. Okay. But it's 2 lanes almost all the way.
Oh, really?
And so if you're going to pass somebody, they have, I think, 2 or 3 passing zones is all over the course of 3 hours on the road. And oh my gosh, it's just terrible. There was a crazy semi driver who was passing cars 4 and 5 at a time, and cars are coming at him, and he's just like, whatever. He just keeps going.
Wow,
I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Just dumbfounded. But anyway,
he's not going to be a driver for long. Probably not going to be living for long if he keeps that up.
I don't, unless he comes up against another semi, he'll be fine, probably.
Maybe.
Just weird crap like that. But it's a terribly boring drive. So I like you in even northern Wisconsin and around Minneapolis in that area. Beautiful highways and you see the elevation change and the curves and so on.
Yep.
And you just don't have too much of that down here.
I could argue though too that in some places even flat farmland is fun.
Indiana,
because Indiana's a great example.
Yes, it is.
You're driving around and you're seeing some of the beautiful buildings. You're seeing some of the old towns, even the rundown ones. I mean, one of my dreams, honestly, is to take Route 66 for what you can take it and see some of the dying towns. And I hate the fact that they're dying, but that just stuff is so much fun to me.
Well, it is cool. A good friend of mine that I used to work with, Sandy Wheaton, was awesome at that sort of stuff. She bought herself an A-line camper.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Those things are kind of cool.
They are.
Towed it behind her Jeep, so she would be simpatico with you.
Yeah.
And did the Route 66 trip, stayed at hotel and was writing. She's a great photographer, but writing stories. She's a really nice writer. Anyway, but did that whole thing and spent some time on the Salton Sea, if you know where that is.
I know where that is, yeah.
It's just really amazing. And some of the pictures were incredible. There's such a story behind the Salton Sea that, I mean, they were going to create the next Palm Springs and it just trashed the entire area.
They did. And there's some great documentaries out there. If you're ever interested in learning about the Salton Sea. YouTube, I know you can find some, but there's it's really interesting, the history of that place. And
it really is.
Why it was so big and then what the downfall was, which a lot of it had to do with agriculture and runoff from that agriculture. So it's really interesting. But
it is, and I love Palm Springs. Just the idea of it. I mean, I've been there, but just that whole era, the 50s,
the 50s,
and 60s too, when it was just kind of in its infancy, and it was people coming from LA and movie stars.
I don't know anything about that.
It's pretty cool, and there's just a style that's Palm Springs.
Yeah,
you know everything about that.
That's what's happening to Nashville right now. Nashville is the next Palm Springs. Yeah, probably not. But we still have a lot of people moving from California and a lot of different musicians and movie stars moving here as well.
Yeah, so do we.
Yep.
Yeah, a whole lot. It's interesting because you can tell people that bought lots to build houses on sight unseen.
Yeah.
There's one that's massive. It's 4-car garage. It's probably 6,000 square feet, 7,000 square feet. I don't know. And it's a block away from Home Depot and Walmart. And they're building this massive house. It's right next to the service road. I mean, maybe back 30 yards, if that.
Right.
And so I'm looking at this massive house on this 1/4 acre property, and they're thinking, let's spend our $800,000 and build this place. And they're going to be surprised when they get there.
You and I were talking about this before we got on the podcast a little bit and things like this. And I understand. I want to preface this to everyone who's, whether you're going to get upset or start yelling at whatever you're listening to us on, but
you're going to piss off our listeners.
Most of us most people will probably agree, but there are a lot of nuances to the what I'm going to talk about. So I recognize that, and there are a lot of. I'm not going to talk about the nuance. I'm just going to be very general.
But there are some.
But there are a lot of nuances, and there are a lot of I'm talking in generalities.
Okay.
So we have been talking about, and I do think we talked a little bit about it on the podcast, but Jen and I, my wife and I, have been talking about the possibility of building as our next option. But in our area, and this is where John and I were having a long conversation, in our area, it's not that easy because of all of the people that have been moving to Nashville and the incredibly expensive land that's around here. So we are the only way we can make a build make sense financially is to include Jen's business in the build as well. So the idea is, let's build something that the studio is on the property. And in essence, she would be I would be the landlord. I wouldn't be the landlord. We as a family would be the landlord, and the business would be the renter or the leasee. That's kind of the idea. So we would actually be able to afford the property and to build, because right now the property alone, we've been looking at property alone is the same price as it would cost to build a house. Yeah. So we would be doubling. And obviously, if we're going to do that to make it make sense, we'd need more than just an acre, right? We need at least 3 acres, if not more, to make the whole thing work, to make the complex work. So that makes it even more expensive. And then try to find a way to build a house. And we boiled it down to basically we have to find a place that's decent, that's in a good part of town. Oh, by the way, we want to stay in the school district that my daughter's in. Yeah. Which is very important.
That's the thing.
That's the rub right there. You could move out of town and be fine. But we also need to stay in the community because the name of Jen's business is the name of the community. Yep. So that doesn't help either. Not that that couldn't be changed, but we'd like to stay. We like where we live. We really do. Yep. So building the studio and then building a house. To be able to afford to do it, we have to build a studio in the same place, and we have to do a lot of the work ourselves. Which I'm not opposed to, but I do know my limitations. So there are things that I wouldn't be able to do, or I wouldn't do well, which makes it tough. So,
makes what are the options? Sense. Yeah. Not doing it well is a problem.
A lot of the problems we're facing with that, excluding trying to get materials, we know that's an issue. That's an issue all over the country. But excluding that is just all of the people moving here, and especially all the people that are doing that are finding these, for lack of a better phrase, worthless lots and building McMansions on them, are driving up real estate prices everywhere. And it makes it really difficult to be able to make that next move.
Gentrification.
And I've often said in the last, we've lived here almost 17 years now. Nashville is the only city I've ever lived in where we've got gentrification on all 4 sides. Yeah. My daughter, her current school, her middle school, is in not a great part of town. And even in that part of town, they're building brand new condos and townhomes all over the place. I saw a house in that neighborhood. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square foot, 1-level house, no basement, no crawl space, no garage, on a 1/3 of an acre. And they were showing the pictures of it. All the windows are boarded up.
Oh, man.
$350,000.
Come on.
$350,000 for a boarded up 800 or 900 square foot house.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
On a 1/3 of an acre, though.
On a 1/3 of an acre.
Yeah,
no garage.
So the 1/3 of an acre is, for in town, is pretty good sized lot, I would think.
It is comparatively. It is the neighbors were not close.
Yeah, which is kind of nice, but still, it's a teardown probably for $350.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
boarded up windows.
we've also considered while we build, because there's a lot of we went through all of this, so I'm not going to bore you all with it because I already bored John once. But there are a lot of different options for us to live while we do that, so we can afford to actually build everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of it was, let's downsize and buy a condo. Mm-hmm. We can't find a condo in our area for less than what we bought this house for.
Wow. Man.
A condo.
It's just...
And we're looking at condos that were built in the 70s, John.
Oh, I gotcha. I know how that works. And the land concept we were talking about,
mm-hmm.
I know you would like to have a lot of land, but you don't need to be close after,
John
after
froze.
Peyton.
Actually, as I was picking up my water, okay. John froze. So maybe he'll come back.
John's back.
Maybe I'm frozen on his end. Maybe it's my fault. You never know. I'm going to do a speed test right now and find out if it's me. Oh, there it is. There he is. Hi, John.
I didn't go anywhere. You did.
I didn't go anywhere. You did.
Actually, since it records on both our hard drives, it's going to look like we're both talking to each other.
Yeah.
Because I was just saying wonderful things.
My speed is very, very good right now. So I'm blaming you. There must be a thunderstorm.
I'm blaming Elon.
It is Florida.
I'm blaming Elon. We have not had any rain. Where are you coming up with the rain stuff that you said earlier, too?
It's Florida.
It's raining all the time. It has been so nice.
Speaking of, we're going in a completely different direction, not talking about moving to a different place, but I have grass in my yard for the first time this year. For the first time in probably 3 or 4 years since we've lived here. Is it just a
ribbon of grass in the backyard?
Well, yes, the ribbon. I've already had to cut the ribbon of grass once. It was an interesting mowing experience. But even my front yard is fully grassed this year.
That's awesome.
I haven't had full grass since, I would say, since we moved in, which is well over 7 years ago.
What's the difference? Why this year?
Water. It's been very wet this year so far. We've had not just 1 day of rain. We've had 3 days of rain, then 3 days off, then 3 days of rain. So
is the grass growing like crazy?
I already have to mow it again. And it was a week ago that I mowed it. And it's March.
Awesome.
Well, not when you guys are listening to this.
Well, well.
It'll be April 2nd.
It will be April 2nd, won't it? My goodness.
Yep. It would have been better if we would have made this live April 1st. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You and I are simpatico. Did you?
Well, we're fools.
Did you hear my dog there? Yeah, we are.
I did not know.
So anyway.
So it's always the land
frozen
thing.
Again.
Buying land. It just varies so widely.
Oh.
Why? Is it
because you froze again?
I did not. You did. Yeah, I don't know hold on. Let me see if Elon and I are doing well. Okay. I just wanted to make sure to talk about the farmer. You heard about the farmer that stepped on the rake? Got a couple of acres.
I don't get it. I don't get that one.
Yes,
sorry.
You do.
No, I don't.
Get it later. Got a couple of acres. He stepped on a rake. Where did the rake hit him?
I got you now.
Oh
okay.
My gosh.
I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
I did get Eric's drink. I don't know.
Oh, did he send it to you?
Yeah. I'm trying to identify. It looks like he has leaves in there. I guess that's an orange peel. But,
that's just because you're looking at it on a Google phone.
It could be leaves. But I want to find out what Elon is doing because he is apparently
falling down on the job.
I don't think so. Yeah. And so I go to X. No, I don't need to go to X. Elon. Speed test. Hit it. Oh, I'm rocking here. I'm over 200. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at 315.
Well, you are because you don't have satellite like I do.
That's right. I'm surprised at 200. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Good upload too. Okay.
What was I going to say?
I don't know. Something about acres stepping on rakes.
Yeah. I had a really good whatchamacallit to talk about. And now I've forgotten.
I had a really good whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
You got all wrapped up in your doohickey, and I forgot my whatchamacallit.
I wanted to see what my thing was doing up on what's it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's Friday, folks.
It must
John
be
and I
Friday.
have had, I don't know if John's had a long week. I've had a long
John's
week.
had a week. But yours has probably been longer too.
It was a long week. It was a good week, but it was long. A lot of meetings, a lot of travel. Not a lot of travel, but I enjoy driving. I've said that before, and I got to drive this week, so I was pretty excited about that.
And you said you drove like Atlanta? Is that what you said? Almost
it was
to Atlanta?
Carrollton, Georgia was actually where
Carrollton,
I went.
Yeah.
Cute little town in the middle of nowhere. Still part of the metro area of Atlanta. But even though it seems like it's way out there, a cute little town. I was impressed. Good. They had a coffee shop. I'm a big coffee. If you guys couldn't figure that, I'm a big coffee shop enthusiast, and went to this coffee shop. I don't remember the name, but there was something on the menu, and I had to ask what it was because I was fascinated by it. It was a crackaccino.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was very good. I did
made
go ahead and
real
order.
Crack.
Not made with real crack, but made with. It was a regular size. I think mine. I did get the 16 ounce, which had I think 6 shots of espresso in it.
What?
Yeah, something like that. It was something crazy, which is hence the name Crackaccino.
What the heck?
Yeah, it was.
You ordered it?
I ordered it. Why not? Like, I'll take one of those. I got a long drive home after a very long meeting
of espresso.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I enjoyed every last sip.
Bouncing off the walls.
I didn't finish the whole thing, so I can't say, but it was very good. It was very tasty. But yeah, it was fun. Speaking of coffee, and we'll go back to, you haven't asked your second question yet, but
that's all right.
So we Jen came home on Wednesday to a new device that was sitting in the kitchen. Now we are again with the trying to build the house and figuring out what we're going to do with the studio. We are trying to pool all of our money. So we're being we're on an austerity program, being very, very austere with very frugal. Yeah. So she comes home to a new device sitting on the counter. And her first thing was being a little bit angry because why am I spending? Yes,
we were going to. Yeah.
It is called a pod maker. PODMAKR, no ER. That's the title. Anyways, pod maker. Yes. So you pour your coffee in, and it's a grinder, but they give you order the little pod, so you can get a Keurig pod, or you can get I did get a even though I don't have one, what do you have? Nespresso. Nespresso pod. And you put it in there, and it grinds it each individual time. You set it to how much coffee you want in one of these, and then you can use it. So we can get rid of buying the pods, basically. Yes. So you just buy the coffee. Well, she's upset with that. And I'm like, I literally bought it a year ago on one of those what's the websites where you fund something, and then if they actually go to funding and go to production, you actually get whatever you ordered for a much cheaper price.
Yeah,
that's what I did over a year ago, and I'm just now getting it. So I'm like, I didn't spend any money. Funny. I spent the money, but I spent it a year and a half ago,
and it's going to save us.
And it's going to save us money. And so she was cool with it. She's actually really excited about it. I did spend some money, and I went ahead and ordered some more coffee from the Montana coffee trader people.
We're still on our 5-pound bag.
Well, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I've got.
Don't know which one we want to do. So we did another small bag of a different blend from the last time I got it. So we're going to go through and try a few more before we decide on which 5-pound bag we're going to start ordering consistently.
Yeah, it's delicious. So, it just is it's excellent.
It's a good coffee. It's a very good coffee. You can thank my father for that. I like to give credit
next time I see him.
Yeah, I talked to him for the first time in a year. This week.
Did he ask about me?
He did, very much so. Yeah, he's never listened to this podcast.
Yeah, but how's John?
Yeah, I don't even know if he knows I have a podcast.
He's a ghost listener. He just doesn't tell you he listens.
Maybe. Yeah. But it was his birthday on Monday. 76 years old.
Ah, cool. Yeah. He's not much older than I am. Be careful.
No. I wasn't going to say a word. Wasn't going to say a word.
I bet he knows the joke about the farmer stepping on a rake.
Well, he is a farmer, so I would have hoped he would know. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple of acres. That's what he'd say. I'm doing his voice.
Yeah.
That's in my mind. That's what he sounds like.
And you got to do more of a Minnesota accent.
Oh yeah. Hey there. A couple of acres.
Yeah, it was a little bit more Wisconsin than it was Minnesota. Try a little Minnesota on the North Dakota. Ask your lovely wife. She probably knows that accent. Very, very well.
Oh, fella, I don't know there.
Yeah. So that was fun. And he's doing well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and good. And I'm surprised you don't. I'm not surprised. You should talk to him more.
I know. We talk about that all the time. It's a cubic trait.
Go up there too, and
we're actually so that was part of the conversation.
Nice.
Going back to something you were talking about earlier, taking the back roads.
Yeah.
Peyton and I asked Peyton before I called him, a long time before I called him. I said, "Would you be interested in doing a road trip this summer?" And she's like, "Well, depends on where we go." I said,
"Good answer.
Why don't we go see Grandpa TV again?" She's like, "That'd be fun."
Awesome.
So I'm trying to figure out how to do it, the best way to do it, but planning a road trip. So I think what I want to do, another one of my coworkers, Mark, just moved to Nashville from from the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And he came through South Dakota, went, to the Mount Rushmore and then Wall Drug, and also hit up Field of Dreams. So he went down that path and went through Iowa. Cool. So I'm thinking, you know what? I haven't been to Field of Dreams in forever. I've actually never been to Wall Drug. And I think it would be fun to take that road trip up. So take Peyton up through Missouri into Iowa, hit Field of Dreams, then go across Iowa to Wall Drug in South Dakota, and then drive up to my dad's from there. And then we'll take the loop and come back through Minnesota, because she's never, even though we've been to Minnesota several times, I've never taken her to my hometown. So I thought of taking her to my hometown and
awesome,
showing her around both hometowns. So both the small town that I was born in and the hometown, which are very close to each other, actually.
Are you going to camp along the way?
I don't think so, because we'll probably do it when it's incredibly hot. The only place that'll be nice would probably be out by my dad's.
Yeah.
And when we're there, he'll make us stay at the house anyways. So,
Motel 6.
Probably not. Yeah, Motel 6. Did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Ooh.
So anyway, that's the road trip I'm thinking about, and I think it would be a lot of fun, and just take a week.
It would be great fun. And
take
that
some of the back roads.
It's easy driving.
Yeah.
I mean, even the interstates are like back roads by you. Yeah. So it's the whole Wall Drug it's a tourist trap, but it's a cool place. It's a fun place to visit and lots to see. Oh my gosh, there would be.
Well, she likes Buc-ee's. And I was like, okay, let's see where the idea for Buc-ee's probably came from. And I would argue that it's a part of it came from Wall Drug, because that's kind of is that kitschy.
It is,
kind of fun roadside attraction /
If she likes Buc-ee's, it would be an opportunity for her to see what it would have been like, 40 years, 50 years ago, or more, probably, what Buc-ee's would have been. But
you hear one of my dogs trying to, he's nesting. I guess. You see him back there?
I do. Glider. He is. That's awesome. It's a good picture.
He's I don't know what he's doing.
Nesting, he does that once in a while.
Yeah. He's
getting comfy.
Actually, what he's probably doing is trying to get my attention, because it's past his dinner time.
Doesn't look like he's trying very hard to get your attention.
Well, my dogs do that. They come up here in my office. And so folks, 5:00 in the afternoon is their dinner time. And I say it's past their dinner because it's well past 5 p.m. But they'll come up here and bother me. But you know who else is home at 5 when I'm home? Peyton. Peyton's chore. She has maybe 2 chores that she sticks to: cleaning the dishwasher out and feeding the dogs. So I don't know why they come up here and bother me when it's Peyton's job to feed them, and she's sitting down on the couch.
Because maybe they like to listen to PoddiMouths.
That could be, but it's not always PoddiMouths. Sometimes it's, a meeting.
Which are boring as hell. That's why they're up here for PoddiMouths.
Are they more boring than PoddiMouths?
I've been in those meetings. You damn right they are.
No, fair enough.
Oh, yes. No,
so anyway, that's our plan. So going up to see him. That's
cool.
That's the whole reason is to go up to see him.
And Wall Drug is relatively close to the monuments. I mean, if you're going to go there, she hasn't seen Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah, we saw it 2 years ago.
Last
year, 2 years ago. Whenever we went up to see him last.
That's awesome.
So that's when they flew out to Colorado. We went from Breckenridge up. Yeah.
Yep, I remember that trip.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I would do that again. Cool. It was too quick. We took our time in the beginning, but then we had to speed it to the end, and I didn't like that part. So this time I want to take my time.
Nice.
Yep.
That would be fun.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yes, and that's a great, that whole part of the country is just, especially in the summertime, is a fun drive.
Yeah.
But it will be warm.
Yes. I would like to take the Jeep on that one, but I don't know if I will. I might rent a car. Might be cheaper. Honestly, it might be cheaper to rent a car.
I've done that, yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. What do you got any road trip planned?
We are flying to Wisconsin in the end of next month.
Okay.
Or this month now, since it's the April 2nd right now.
Yeah.
You have to look into the future.
Right.
And so
we are time travelers.
We're heading up. We are, that's for sure. We are just heading up for a week, see family, hitting multiple spots, to try and see as many folks as we can, but just renting a car while we're up there.
Nice.
It's
Why not?
So much easier.
Yeah.
And just a quick shout out to Allegiant Air. They are, it's 25 minutes from the house, so it's easy to get there. Small airport, Punta Gorda, and then flying up to Rockford. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's the easiest flight ever.
Nice.
And both directions, so family comes down to visit, and it's most of them are getting off the plane going, "We're here already," and it's just an easy fun. Flight.
Is Allegiant? I've never flown Allegiant. Is Allegiant a you have to pick your own seat, or do you actually get an assigned seat?
You pick it, and it depends. You pay to pick it.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I always pay.
Well, is it assigned seating or is it open seating like Southwest?
You have the choice. No, I see what you mean. It's assigned.
Okay.
But if you don't pay to choose a seat, so it gives you, your seat selection, and it has dollar signs on every seat.
Gotcha.
So that's how much this seat is, and so I end up paying extra for exit row, and we also pay extra to do carry-on bags in the overhead. So yeah, and people go, "Oh, geez, they get you." They do. It's still cheaper than most of the other airlines.
Yeah.
I don't care how they get there; it's the same money, if not
right.
a little bit less. But it's the small airport to small airport.
Yeah,
no connection. That's the part that's really attractive.
Our company doesn't allow us to fly Allegiant, which kind of sucks because when I come down if I go down to see, I'm not going down to see you, but when I go down to see that particular store, I can actually fly direct from Nashville to Punta Gorda.
Oh, really? Oh,
on Allegiant.
On Allegiant, yeah.
Yeah, but we can't fly it.
They won't let you.
Yeah,
why is that, I wonder?
No other airlines fly direct into that airport.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. Why isn't Allegiant approved, I guess?
I don't know. There's some airlines that aren't.
But, I know they kind of want to oversee that stuff. And plus they can sometimes work better prices. They also always made us go through the
they still do.
Through the thing.
The thing. We'll just call it the thing. I'm not going to give that one away.
The company travel agent.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
And that's fine. But they want to, and you should as a company. It makes sense to keep your hands on it. You want to be
financially,
for sure. But individual flights like that, sometimes you go, well, I can save $200. We've talked about that before too. And they go, oh no, you got to. Okay, well, whatever. I'm just trying to be helpful. Yeah. So anyhow,
well, and that was the thing when I looked at flights, it was $80. $80 one way. Wow. So it was $160 round trip for me to fly on Allegiant,
which is unheard of.
It was $450 to fly on the airline that I took.
And it wasn't even close.
It got me to what's south of you? It was Fort Myers.
Yeah.
Got me to Fort Myers.
RSW.
That's right. Which, it wasn't that far away. It was what?
Oh, no, it's
40 minutes for me, but still.
Something like that.
Versus
but still.
10 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Oh, well, all good stuff.
We got there. We got to see each other.
And Allegiant owns that. I think we talked about it, the Sunseeker Resort.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I
didn't see that, but you told me that. Yeah.
I thought you drove by it. Anyway, but nice place. Lisa and I are actually going to stay there next week for one night just to see.
Oh, nice.
We've been to 1, 2, 3 of their restaurants now.
Yeah.
Amazing restaurants. We're going to try a night. It's not cheap, but for Florida residents, they give you a deal supposedly. So we'll see.
They'll probably get you another deal once you cross that senior citizen line too.
I think I've already crossed that. Although I don't know down here.
No,
it could be 75 for senior citizen age down here, for all I know.
That's very, very true.
Yeah, Shazam. But on that note,
I think it's
can read your mind.
I know. Well, I've run out of things to talk about. I mean, the next thing I'm going to do is complain. Well, actually, I do have one more thing that I wanted to ask you about.
One more thing.
Yeah, let's talk about politics for a second.
Oh boy,
I know. Now that we're at the end, most people can bail at this point. But I'm curious to get your opinion on RFK Jr.'s selection for running mate.
She clearly would not be my choice. But for him, I think he was in dire need of funding. Yeah. And I think she is fully capable of getting him funding.
Fair enough.
Yeah, our policies would not be the same. And this is the thing. I like RFK because he tells you who he is. He's not afraid of his family's history and all of that. I don't think he's good at the politicking of DC, and that's why they will fight him tooth and nail. They'll say it's because he's going to take votes away from Biden. Well, I'm not sure who he's going to take votes away from.
I think he'll take votes away from both of them. I really do.
I think a little, but I think I'm not
no matter what, he's not going to be president. But it's fun to see it because
he's Ross Perot, sort of, and I don't think it's bad. I think it would be great if both sides could take some of the stuff he's been talking about, and adopt some of it. That's
the key to him right there. Is he is just a third choice. Yeah, the people that don't want to vote for the lesser of two evils.
Don't want to vote for either one of the other two.
Exactly.
And there are some of those. There's no question. But the thing that amazes me most these days is the pundits on mainstream media are big on saying, "Oh, Trump wants to be a dictator and he's going to be terrible for this country." I'm going, he already ran the country for 4 years. It's not like he had his chance. He was just waiting for what, his second term? Cut it out. It just doesn't make any sense. Look,
none of it does.
You know what he can do, what he's done. Hopefully there's not another COVID. I don't know what the hell that whole boat ramming into the bridge in Baltimore was. That thing is just a little weird, and apparently, don't know if it's true or not, but there is 2 minutes missing from the black box.
I haven't heard that one. that one.
2 minutes that they're not.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if that's when the power went out.
That should not affect a black box. Otherwise,
it should.
That plane,
but it was
when it goes over 50,000 feet, the box doesn't work anymore.
Well, if the power went out, you never know. I don't know. That was an interesting thing in and of itself, and there were a lot of really good things out of that. Nothing good came out of it, but there were a lot of good happenstance that came out of it, like them warning with enough time to at least stop traffic on the bridge, and
could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but sad, obviously.
Very
doesn't
sad.
Make it any easier for the people that died.
Absolutely. No. Yeah. And it's, that whole situation, there's a lot of, anyway.
Just weirdness. Just weirdness.
A lot of weirdness.
And we have some weirdness, and there has been substantial weirdness lately, it seems like. But
football play, was it not Aaron? I want to say Aaron Rodgers. I know that's not right. His other possible candidate that he was talking about, the football player. There was a quarterback.
Oh. Well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Was it Aaron Rodgers?
There was chatter about it. I'm sure Kennedy didn't say anything about it. I wouldn't think. He did.
They talked about it. Yeah, he said he's one of he's one of a few possible candidates. And Aaron actually Rodgers talked about it.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah,
he hosted Jeopardy for 2 months
or
I didn't know 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah,
really.
He was, and apparently, I mean, they liked him a lot, but I'm trying to think how it where apparently his football schedule was getting in the way of
that's what they
hosting.
That's what they said about him running for vice president, is a football schedule would get in the way. Yeah. He's not done with football.
No, not yet.
That one I would have been interested in seeing. I really would. I don't know, politics wise, I don't know, but I would have been interested in seeing.
I don't either. He's kind of he's probably a centrist more than he is a Democrat.
But he is I would say he's more conservative too.
He's more conservative than Kennedy, but that still makes him a centrist because I don't.
True.
I think that Kennedy is the old, not old, elderly, the old far left.
He's a Kennedy Democrat. He's a Kennedy Democrat.
But he's left with the way left used to be, and that's a lot more centrist.
It is
than where the left is today. Yeah, and
100%.
So I'm not taking pot shots, just calling it the way it is, and I think everyone on the left would agree that the left has moved to the left.
Yes.
And
the right, I would say the right has moved to the right.
The right may have. I don't know. I don't trust anybody anymore.
I don't trust anybody.
That's the sad part.
That's the bottom line right there.
I trust you and our listeners and viewers.
Agreed.
That's who I trust.
100%. And on that note, John,
good note.
Yeah, it is a good note. Because we're all about the facts here, folks, on the PoddiMouths podcast. We're going to give it to you straight. We're going to give you our opinion. Take it or leave it. I would recommend leaving it, but it's up to you.
Recommend leaving it. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Take it or leave it. We should probably leave it.
But what you should take is some time to go up to PoddiMouths.com. Yep. Check out all of our merch up there. Check out our past episodes. Hit us up on the socials. Like and subscribe if you're listening to us on.
Wouldn't it be nice if they go up there and get our future episodes? Check out our future episodes.
Because we are time travelers here on the PoddiMouths podcast.
It'd be sweet. We are.
It would be sweet. John, great to see you as always. It actually has been a couple of weeks because we recorded 2 back-to-back, so we took a week off. And then we had to do we couldn't get our schedules aligned, so we had to do a classic last week. And so this is the first time we've seen each other in a couple of weeks. So it's very good to see you.
Always good to see you, brother. Always.
You have a fantastic rest of your week, folks. And John, fantastic rest of your night. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Sounds good.
See ya.